It's Wake Up Nigeria, and coming up we have Ijoma Ugu to talk about the importance of a balanced diet in our children's meals.
Yes, and later Mike and Korede will be entertaining us with some news in the entertainment world.
And finally, we Kite serenading us right here on the show.
Papa God them bless me and I know you love my style. I they make you happy. The people them love my style. Them say I they make them happy. The mama and the papa them know me. Children just stay happy. My brother Shaka Kahalo.
Mr. Musa loves the way we dance in the studio. You know that.
Wow. It's still chocolate and blueberry.
Really?
I didn't think of that.
Coming to you live on
Okay.
TVC.
Chocolate and blueberry coming to you
So
live.
there you go. So if you needed a replacement for the bomb and the dynamite.
Seriously,
Yeah.
Mike? We should hold on
We
for
should
you to
hold
take
on
a
for
drink.
you.
Really?
Yesterday we were holding on for you to make a phone call.
You say something. What
So
was
if you
it?
needed a replacement for the bomb and the dynamite.
Yeah, okay.
You've got the
All right,
chocolate.
and the
blueberry.
blueberry.
Exactly.
Did you like that?
I think we need to stage another intervention for your meal.
You know, now,
Look, nobody can take my dance
Titi, you
steps
do
that I
look
just
like
learned
you
from
are.
you.
You look quite young.
okay,
Oh,
now,
thank you.
Yeah.
I want to give this personal experience. Now, when I saw the commuting feature, I remember my first time in Lagos. You know, I just came into Lagos and I was about going to the island, and I was at Ojota. And so, normally I came from Port Harcourt. So there, when you're going to a bus, the driver will be like, Rumola, enter. Rumokoro, no enter. Oh. Very clear, you enter, the guy will close the door, sit down,
Yeah.
and then you move. And then I came into Lagos, I got to Ojota, and then I see this guy, and then I'm like, surely, like, no, this is my experience. And then I'm like, what did I say? I see a guy like, he doesn't even say that. And I go, he didn't even care what I said. And then I know somebody go, and then we get on to the boat, and the guy doesn't, and I'm like, wow, Lagos, I think I need to leave this city. I actually hated Lagos, but now I can't live anywhere else.
Oh,
Can you
Wonderful
imagine? How
place.
many
Can't
years
live
now?
anywhere else.
No, if I say
You
number
know
of
the
years now,
interesting thing about Lagos?
Yeah.
Lagos is one of those cities that kind of trains you for other places. If you've lived in Lagos, any country you go to, you will survive.
Oh yeah.
The
that's true.
hustle that you go through in Lagos makes everywhere else seem so easy and so calm.
But everything is so expensive in Lagos.
Who said so? Mary, what would I say?
Everything is expensive.
Are you
Everything.
Sure? Are you
Are you
sure
okay?
about
Sometimes I wonder if the government will tax us for breathing.
Okay,
Everything
she went
costs
there.
something.
Can you find out? Yemi, please.
Did you see that
I need
picture
to give you a
on
fan.
Everything's
Twitter?
there.
Someone
Yeah.
who was talking about their love for the police.
Oh, wow.
It was on Twitter, I saw it, but I think it was an Instagram post because his car broke down
Yes.
on 3rd Mainland Bridge. And the next thing, he saw these police officers approaching him. He was like wondering, and then they were coming with 10 liters of fuel.
Oh.
And guess what? They poured it for him, and he wanted to sort them, the usual, okay, Oga, take for the fuel and take for yourself. And they said, no, it's the reason they're on the bridge.
That's one of the things.
Okay, so
That's one of the
that I
things I
have to
wanted
clap
to
for.
say about the fact that Lagos is actually changing. You know, and there's a lot happening that we're not seeing yet, but you know, it's changing.
Hold
The streets have been lit.
Hold on. I know.
With the
Hold
street
on
lighting
now.
campaign,
I started with
lots
this. I have
of
to
things
end
are
with this.
changing.
Hold
No,
on.
you're
Hold
not
up.
going to end with
Hold
anything.
up. Hold
Fade
up.
is on standby with the news update.
While Mike takes his coffee.
Good morning, Nigeria. I am Fadisha Lashotingwe on the news this hour. President Muhammadu Buhari is now back home after his visit to London from New York, where he participated in the activities of the 72nd session of the UN General Assembly. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, had said his principal would return to the country on Monday, but he did not disclose the reason for the UK visit, fueling the speculation that the trip might be health-related. Now, 2 out of the 5 men being prosecuted by the Nigerian government for unlawful importation of 661 pump-action rifles have indicated their intention to enter into a plea bargain. At resumed proceedings at the Federal High Court in Lagos, Oscar Okafor and Donatus Achinolo indicated their intentions to change their plea from not guilty to guilty. The judge directed the defendants to notify the Attorney General of the Federation of their decision before adjourning till Wednesday. The men are accused of bringing 661 pump-action rifles into the country from Turkey through the Apapa port, using a 40-feet container which they falsely claimed contained steel doors. To facilitate the illegal importation, they allegedly forged a number of documents. Commotion broke out yesterday at the palace of the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Saliu Adetunji, when gunmen opened fire during the installation of 4 traditional rulers by the Olubadan. The gunmen stormed the palace at about 11:45 a.m. as the installation was going on in the inner chamber of the palace. They shot repeatedly in front of the palace, daring those inside to come out and engage them. 3 journalists and a chieftain of the Labour Party, who was a former secretary to the Oyo State government, narrowly escaped death while the shooting lasted. But the commotion did not stop the coronation from taking place. In the meantime, Governor Abiola Ajimobi has condemned the violence at the palace of the Olubadan. He has directed security agencies to ensure that the masterminders are arrested, interrogated, and brought to justice. He vowed not to spare anyone or group of people found culpable in the incident. The Senate is set to amend 3 critical laws to support taxation in the country, noting that the tax collection rate in Nigeria remains very low and unacceptable if the country must expand its revenue base. The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, disclosed this on Monday at a one-day public hearing on 3 bills targeted at reforming tax incentives, Company Income Tax Act, and the Constituency Projects Bill. And that's the news this hour. We'll bring you weather updates.
It's time again for sports, and Super Mike is on standby for that. Yeah. Mike, it's time for sports. Give us the sports update.
Mike, seriously.
This is now where I'm in charge. All right. So a week of bluster and bargaining at the United Nations has done little to ease safety concerns surrounding the upcoming 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, with world leaders offering a variety of approaches to the issue of neighboring North Korea and its expanding nuclear program. Austria and Germany have joined France to consider skipping the games in February if security concerns deepens. And Jose Mourinho will face no further action from the FA after he was sent off during Manchester United's win at Southampton at the weekend. The United boss claimed he was baffled when he was sent to the stands by referee Craig Pawson near the end of Saturday's Premier League clash at St. Mary's. Mourinho had stepped out of his line and onto the edge of the pitch, only to be pulled back by the 4th official Mike Jones, who then called Pawson over once play had been stopped. The former Chelsea boss was sanctioned twice last season, including a touchline ban and a £50,000 fine for 2 incidents in November. And players and officials of the Super Eagles squad to the just concluded West African Football Union Tournament WAFU in Ghana have received commendation from the league management company, the LMC, which urged them to build on the lessons learned from the Subcontinental Championship for the 2018 African Nations Championship. Now the players were drawn from the Nigerian Professional Football League, different clubs, and it was organized by the LMC. LMC chairman Shehu Diko, who was at the finals on Sunday, said he was impressed by the fight in the players that saw them come from the brink of ouster at the group stage to reach the finals. The LMC described the tournament as a win-win for domestic football in Nigeria and the entire West African region, noting that the strength of West African football can be seen in the dominance of West African teams to recent World Cup tournaments. Okay, and why are you guys smiling? That color, by the way, is not blue.
It's not blue?
It's cyan.
What? It's cyan. What?
It's time again
cyan.
for...
What I say it is what it is. What?
Cyan. Cyan. Okay, cyan, cyan.
The newspaper
Tomato,
updates.
tomato.
Yes, tomato. It's the same thing we're talking about.
It's blue. It's just blue.
Okay, that's it on sports. It's the chocolate and the blueberry. Taking it away.
I'm not sure I'm liking that.
No. I'm not liking it either, really.
Those monikers.
No.
But we're going straight to the newspaper headlines, and you're starting off with this day, Titi.
All right, this day says, federal government open to divestment of 40% shares in Discos, says Fashola, raises hope on kickoff of Mambila hydropower project, highlights infrastructure plans. It also says here, Buhari returns, congratulates German Chancellor Merkel. You can read up more about that on page 43 of this day. And it says here, oil price hits all-year high of $58 per barrel. NPDC targets 500,000 barrels per day production by 2020.
All right, now we're going straight to the headlines in the Punch. We're starting with federal government gazettes IPOB ban to right banks, embassies, foreign missions. And then we've got Buhari to appoint administrator for forfeiture of IPOB's assets. And then Professor Obiano disagree on Biafran agitators at legal year ceremony. And then also gunmen attack Olubadan's palace during new mortgagee's installation. And finally, oil price hits 26-month high, nears $59.
On the cover of the Daily Sun, it says, gunmen invade Olubadan's palace. Journalists escape death. Oyo government probes shooting. You can read up more about that on page 43. Buhari to shake up cabinet, it says here. And you can read up more about that on page 39. As Atiku clarifies position on restructuring. Reading up more about that on page 3 of the Daily Sun.
And then on the cover of the Vanguard, we've got weak, incompetent party. That's a quote there. And then presidency mum as APC fires back at Sage. Says Sage is the real rogue elephant in government. It's a sign of total confusion in APC, says the PDP. And then, of course, the story that's been on. Gunmen storm Olubadan Palace during installation of ballets. And then finally, FIRS ICANN disagree over 10-year pioneer status to new firms. All on the cover of the Vanguard this morning.
And quickly on The Nation, it says, restructuring, states step up, push for more powers. North rejects more states, new revenue formula wanted. It also says here, Lagos donates 120 generator sets to police stations. You can read up about that on page 45. And CBN and banks bicker over SMEs funds on page 11 of The Nation.
All right, so that's it today for the newspapers. And it was proudly supported by Dettol. Be 100% sure.
We'll go on a break now, but stay with us. We will be back shortly. Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now, research has shown that nutrition affects all aspects of childhood, talking growth, development, health, everything. Good nutrition is important for our children to grow appropriately and, of course, live a healthy life. But as a parent with a tight schedule like me, achieving this seems, you know, it's a big deal. It can be quite difficult. Ijoma Ugu is here to enlighten us on how we can achieve this even with our busy schedules. Welcome to the studio, Ijoma.
Thank you.
You look bright and beautiful this morning, I have to say. Now, nutrition is such a big deal.
Yeah.
And parents have probably been hearing it, you know, these days, that they need to step up their game. But what is it that makes nutrition so important for our children's growth?
Yeah, children nutrition is a very vital one.
Okay.
Because they need to grow.
Yeah.
They are active.
Okay.
They are developing.
Okay.
It's like planting a tree or just planting a plant.
All right.
It needs a lot of things to grow. But as adults, you just need to maintain it. But as children, they need to grow. And then when it comes to prevention of diseases, you actually get optimum benefit if you started early than when you start as an adult. There is actually a curve that shows that in case of diseases, as a child, you go this way and then you go, but as an adult, you just go, it's like a little effect.
Okay, so I'm thinking about, you know, the average parent. So I'm a mom now.
Yeah.
And my kids have told me that the very nutritious food I've been cooking for them is boring.
Yeah.
But I want them to be healthy. So healthy versus interesting food, you know. But what are the key ingredients or aspects of nutrition that I have to involve in my kids' meals right now?
As children, actually, you can't do dieting per se because they need all of them.
Okay.
They need the calories because they are very active.
Okay.
They need the micronutrients because they are the things that assist the body to absorb the calories. So you can't really exclude much from their diet. So what you need to give them, basically they need lots of protein because it's the building blocks.
Okay.
And then they need the vitamins also, the minerals, the calories, which comes as carbohydrates. But what has happened in this era is that there has been a lot of inactivity in children. And that's why you look around and you see lots of obese children. So parents should try to look at the activity level of their children to balance, especially in the calories.
Okay.
So if your child is very active, you can't continue feeding him like white starchy foods, like the noodles, like the yam, like the cassava.
And the bread.
Yeah. And then you have to really cut down on those ones. If your child is inactive, like they do these days, they just come back from school, they do assignment, it's time to go to bed, there's no playing around.
Activity.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to go back to what you said about obesity. Childhood obesity sadly has become something that is prevalent in different countries around the world. In fact, children these days, you're not buying child sizes for them anymore. I'm talking about kids between age 5 to probably 10, 12. So if, as a parent now, you notice that your child is becoming obese or becoming overweight, some parents see it as a sign of good living.
No.
But then other parents are worried about it. Yeah. In any case, what should a parent that notices this change be doing?
Like I said earlier, you have to cut down on calorie intake and increase the vitamins and the minerals, which is through fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
But more parents and even children, they think, oh, my child can't do without biscuits.
Okay.
My child can't do without bread. Of course they can. It's even better when you start as children because it's what you feed them, they know.
Okay.
So as a parent, if you notice your child is getting obese, you cut down on calories and try to enroll him or her in a physical activity like sports.
That they can do
yeah,
on a daily
yeah.
basis.
They could go swimming, they could go soccer, any form of sports that you can afford to enroll them into. And then it's a societal problem. It's not something that individuals can easily controlled, because if you live in a compound where there's no space for them to play, and then considering the security level, you can't just let them play out that way. So you cut down on their calories. Fats usually are not the major culprits, because as children they need a lot of fat for their brain development, but then you have to watch out the type of fat they take. Like if they take lots of trans fatty acids, which comes
like fried foods.
Fried foods it's a problem, because most of our oil are just refined palm oil, which are highly hydrogenated, and they could cause a lot of oxidation in the system.
So basically, they are, you know, it becomes a culprit when it comes to
when
obesity.
it's the wrong type of fat.
Okay.
But when it is the good type of fat,
give us an example of good types of fat.
Good type of fat is like the fat you get in your fish.
Okay.
Good fish, not stale fish,
Okay.
not the fish that's already decaying.
Okay.
Like if you want to, we have to go local. If you want to take a goosey, for instance,
Yeah.
you look for the hand peeled. Don't look for the machine peeled, because the machine peeled has already gone through some mechanical damage, which exposes the fat, and then oxidation is already taking place.
Okay.
So whatever fat products you want to get, try to perceive it. If it has any smell at all, don't go for it, because oxidation is already happening.
I've had this conversation with someone before, that someone didn't believe that egusi was actually fattening. It is. It is, because I do believe there's oil in those seeds.
Very high oil content, but still
and then
highly
it's cooked
proteinous.
in palm oil in most cases.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't believe that palm oil is very unhealthy, and they give it to their children quite a bit.
Well, I don't believe it's very unhealthy, because when maybe a food scientist or mostly foreigners, when they tell you that palm oil is bad, they actually are referring to the refined palm oil.
Okay, not the local
They
one
know
we have here.
almost only that.
Okay.
For us, we know our palm oil, it goes through only like one stage of cooking for extraction, and that's not like too much. And then it has a lot of vitamin A in it.
Vitamin A is very key, especially for a child's development. But I know we can continue this conversation online. Please tweet to us at TVC Connect if you have any questions about what you're feeding your kids. Maybe you're not sure if it is healthy enough. We will make sure we tag her and make sure she responds to you. But Mike and Korede are on standby. They have some entertainment news for us. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
My pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much, TT. And of course, this is where we turn it up. Okay, I've got Korede in the house. It's great to have you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so entertainment news. Where are we kicking off from?
Okay, we're starting with Wizkid today.
Wizzy.
Yes.
Wizzy, baby.
He made me happy over the weekend. I was so proud. Yeah, I mean, okay, so he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for 2018. Now, it's not a personal record, we have to say that, because it's actually for the most streams on a song, and it's for One Dance, which is, you know, him, Drake, and Kia. It's not a personal record, but he's now joined the list of the few Nigerians that actually own the right to, like, have that right to say, I have a Guinness record. He's joined Kafi, Harrison, Chinedu.
No. Kafi was not there.
Uncle.
I know what I'm telling you. I'm very sure. Just let's leave that one.
Okay,
now.
fine.
But then, who else?
She's joined Harrison, Chinedu, Chedera, Animega, and Obi
Ajonumo.
Yes,
that's the DJ Obi.
Yes,
because
I really don't want to butcher his last name.
Okay, let's just leave. Okay, but then now the book has not yet. It will be released next year.
Yeah.
Well, not yet, and all of that. But then it's quite a big one for him. But it's streaming on Spotify, right?
Yes, but streaming on Spotify internationally, like everywhere in the world. Spotify is an international streaming service, so you can do it anywhere. And I know that on Spotify, because I have an account, one of the biggest Nigerian artists, the ones that people listen to the most, is Wizkid's music. Like, he's one of the ones that you know you will find.
Okay, so that's a big one, right, for Wizkid. But of course, it's a feature record. So
yeah, it's a feature record.
He can lay claim also to being a part of it.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. But then now this has been going on and on and on and on. But finally, it seems that there's going to be a resolution in the P Square yearly crisis.
I don't feel like it's a resolution.
It's a resolution because it seems like, yes, something is actually going to happen. So what's up with P Square now?
So Peter has officially asked for a split. obviously he's individually known as Mr. P, and he sent a letter to their lawyer, Festus Keyamo, the senior advocate of Nigeria, demanding the termination of their legal contract that exists. In the letter, he basically stated that the reasons for this final decision is that he's tired of the threats that are being made by Paul against his family, and that the major problems that are going on between Paul and Jude, especially the physical altercations that are happening concerning his family and all of that, he can't take it anymore.
Okay, before we go into the very hard part, let's just feel them a bit. Let's just relieve the last memories.
Oh my God.
As you there for Twitter, your name for Insta, sexy for delicious twister. Why you to the lie? When nothing there to the shake you, where the waste you. As you there for Twitter, your name for Insta, sexy for delicious.
Okay, when I spoke about memories, I said the last memories of the partnership, because it seems as though there will be no P Square after this.
I mean, I feel like
it's very likely now.
He said that the nail on the coffin for him was when Paul cancelled their US tour without telling him. And for the longest time, they've been saying, oh, P Square is going to break up, they're fighting, they're doing this, they're doing that. I would glance over it because I'll be like, okay, they're fighting again, big deal, they're twins, they'll get over themselves. Yeah. But this time, I think they're serious.
They're serious because now they sent in that letter, and that letter is asking for a legal dissolution of P Square.
He's not saying they're not going to speak anymore. He's just saying, look, this partnership we have, this P Square, it's not working out anymore.
I personally think that it's going to happen. Let it happen. Let them just go their ways, man.
I mean, if it has to happen, sure, but I'll be sad about it. I won't lie.
Okay, and now talking about someone who is appreciating someone, person who helped him. Yes. Skills is in the news, right?
Yes, my darling Skills is in the news, and he revealed something that actually shocked me. I won't lie. He went on Twitter on Sunday and basically announced to all of his followers and everyone that Olamide was the one that paid for his video Shake Body. That song came out, I think, about 2015, and at the time, like, everybody loved that song. Is like my jam. It has always been my jam.
It's your jam. Let's feel the song. Let's feel the song.
I don't get some money, they wanna get down. They want hold me for ransom, cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They want know where I come from. I they run things from Lagos to London. All the blessings and love I they see just they make me they shout hallelujah. I say all the blessings and love I they see just they make me they shout hallelujah. They hold me for ransom, cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They want hold me for ransom, cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. Oh yeah, shake body.
No, but that song was a hit, right? That song was a very... We love that song. But now this is quite interesting. He says this video was paid for by Olamide.
He said he was broke at the time, and Olamide gave him all the money he needed to make this video. And of course, Olamide responded in kind, saying that it was nothing, but apparently it was supposed to remain between them, like no one was supposed to know about it.
He put up a post and was like, hey bro, this was supposed to be a secret.
And he was like, he was like, he needed people to know because it was too big of a gift for people to just like not know about. Wow. And for me, I feel like that's something great because like in the Nigerian industry, people will help you all the time and like you never really see that gratitude like that. No, I said it's a big deal.
Okay, cool. All right, okay, let's get to our final story because we don't have time. We have to rush over this.
Yeah. Okay. So over the weekend, there was this big event called the Red Bull Culture Clash. Now, this has been happening every year for about 10 years.
And we don't know so much about it.
Yeah, it was introduced in the UK by the Red Bull Music Academy, and it's their longest running music program. Basically, it takes place around the world. It's been in New York, it's been in Lisbon, it's been in Paris. Now, it's based on classic Jamaican sound systems and the way Jamaicans do their music. Okay. All you need is cutting-edge lyrics. There's a fierce competition, and then you need a loud sound system. Like, your audience needs to be hyped.
Okay, so what's the story now?
Now, but wait, we have to finish. I have to explain this to you very well so you understand why this is the story. Right, the rules are very simple. You have 4 teams. Okay. And everyone is allowed to sing whatever they want. You're allowed to dub, mix, and you need extremely loud music. The only thing you cannot do is repeat a song. All right. You're not allowed to in any way, shape, or form. All right. Now, this year, the battle was in South Africa, and there were 4 teams. AKA was there with a group he called the Top Boy Sound System. DJ Tira was there with, what's it called? He called it the Durban Massacre Sound System. Yeah. Pato Rankin was there representing Nigeria with the Red Hot Sound System. Okay. And then there was a northern group called Admiral and Jashim with the African Storm. Now, Nigeria did not win this year, which was very unfortunate. I was very sad about it. Our team had Pato Rankin, Yemi Alade, we had Nas CC, we had Busiwa, who is a Southern African actor.
Okay, but then we
had
thought
Davido.
that we had Davido, but then we lost.
We lost.
That was just a big.
No, you don't want to know why.
No, we will take this some other time. We don't have time, but then this is quite very juicy. Maybe we can hit us up at TVC Connect. But then, thank you very much, Korede. It's always a pleasure having you. And then we will take a very short break. The show will be right back. Don't go anywhere.